All right, guys, we are back at you once again, and it is podcast time. Let's get it.
Oh yeah, you know what it is.
Yes, sir. Now, this time around, we got a special podcast for you guys.
Yes, we
We
do.
are going to be talking about the one and only Hulk Hogan.
The immortal one, brother.
Yeah, the biggest name in wrestling history.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean that ain't no joke. When you hear people over the years say like, "Oh, Hulk Hogan, the biggest name in wrestling
Yeah,
history," it's like truly he was the biggest name.
yeah, he was the most well known wrestler ever.
Like
Ah,
even if you weren't a wrestling fan,
yeah,
like you knew who Hulk Hogan was. I
definitely.
mean, his name and his pictures or whatever were everywhere.
Yeah,
Like you couldn't see anything without some advertising Hulk Hogan.
exactly. He was like the biggest name in wrestling, especially, in the 80s into the 90s. He
Yeah.
was big time, man. And the reason we're talking about Hulk Hogan because unfortunately he had passed away,
Yes, sir.
which is a shocker to me. I could
Yeah.
have swore he would have went on many more years.
Yeah. Because we joked before about how wrestlers are passing away, all this and that. We're thinking about all the people that we lost in the past, and
Right.
you think like we were like, oh, Hulk Hogan's still alive,
Yeah.
and
I would have figured, yeah, he would have went on for years because he always seemed in great shape and he's always alert when doing interviews.
yeah,
So
I
when I
mean,
found out he passed, I was shocked. I was like, no way. You
yeah,
know,
I remember just not too long ago he showed up on WWE Raw and shit,
right.
and everybody was fucking booing him.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
just something else. And the interviews that he had, um, he seemed like 100% there. So when he passed, I was like, wow, what the hell? You know.
yeah.
So let's
Some,
see.
but yeah, it just sucks, man, because one
Yeah,
wrestler that back in the day that you would always know is Hulk Hogan.
right. So
You
let's
know,
see here. Hulk Hogan, his real name is Terry Bollea. He
yeah,
was born August 11th, 1953. He had passed away on July 24th, 2025. That month was just a weird month, by the way,
yeah, because I
because,
mean, we started like losing people, and
right,
like a couple days before Hulk Hogan, sad to say we lost Ozzy Osbourne.
right. And what was really odd is Ozzy Osbourne had his farewell concert, I think, on like July 5th. And like
Yeah,
2.5 weeks later, he passes away.
come
So he had a charity event, big concert where a lot of rock legends were there, like Metallica,
yeah,
Pantera, and many more. His farewell concert, and then 2 weeks later, he's gone. I was thinking, damn, if
yeah.
there's any way to go out, that's how I'd like to go out. Do
Two
it.
weeks, 2 weeks later, he was gone, and then
And
two
then,
days after that, then fucking Hulk Hogan.
yeah, and I was just like, wow, you
Like
know,
that's, I mean, to lose one person that you always know is one thing. You're like, but losing like just two in a row, back to back like
right?
that, losing legends like Ozzy Osbourne and Hulk Hogan,
Yeah,
all within the same fucking week. You're
yeah,
just like, wow, I
yeah,
can't. But it's like, yeah, at first, you hear about Ozzy Osbourne, and you're like, oh man, that
yeah.
sucks. And you want to jam to some Ozzy Osbourne
Right.
music, and
By the way, Ozzy Osbourne was at WrestleMania too,
yeah,
helping the British Bulldogs.
you realize now that like pretty much, if you go back and you watch the first few WrestleManias, everybody now is pretty much gone. Like
Yeah,
the one person you always looked up to is like the one that headlined the first like 8 WrestleManias, Hulk Hogan, is is now gone.
right.
Like,
Something else, man.
because I always thought that was weird. Because like I always think back and like all the people that Hulk Hogan fought at WrestleMania from 1 to 8. Like
Right.
thinking like, wow, that's weird. Like how like pretty much everybody that he wrestled against at WrestleMania is gone now.
Which is crazy. And
Which
this,
the only one I think is that's really still alive is Sergeant Slaughter.
Mr. T.
Yeah, and Mr. T. That's
Yeah.
about it. But I'm talking about everybody that he faced. I mean, look, WrestleMania 1, he teamed up with Mr. T to
Right.
take on Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. Both of them are gone.
Right.
WrestleMania 2, he fought King Kong Bundy. He's gone.
Right.
WrestleMania 3 and
Andre.
4,
Andre
he
the.
fought Andre.
Yeah, he's gone.
Macho Man in 5.
Gone.
Ultimate Warrior in 6.
Gone.
I mean, he did face Sergeant Slaughter in 7. I think Sergeant Slaughter's still alive.
Yeah, he's alive.
But and in WrestleMania 8, he fought, Sid Vicious or Sid Justice.
Yeah.
Gone.
All right. So what we plan on doing today is we're going to talk about Hulk Hogan. We're also going to be playing some videos of other people that knew him as well. And then let's see, like Dana White, the guy who owns UFC. There's a little video I want to play on him. And what else? I'm going to be playing here in a minute the 10 bell salute here for WWE Pace Tribute. And at the end of this, we're going to be answering some questions from Daniel Santana. He has a lot of Hulk Hogan questions, so we'll add that in as well.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so we got a lot going on here for today. But let me go over, because I've got his Wikipedia pulled up, and it says, like I said, Hulk Hogan was born August 11th, 1953. This podcast is going to be posted on August 11th on his birthday, which is going to be cool. Better known, Terry Bollea, better known as Hulk Hogan, was an American professional wrestler. He was widely regarded as one of the greatest, most recognized wrestling stars of all time, which is true.
Yeah.
He won multiple championships worldwide. He's a 6-time WWF champion.
Yeah.
He's best known for his work in the WWF, now known as the WWE, and also WCW. He also worked in promotions like TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, AWA, and New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
He's
it's funny if you ever go back and watch his Japanese matches that he had.
Yeah, those are pretty good, actually.
You actually see Hulk Hogan work such a different way than he ever did in WWF. Like you would see him do moves and all this stuff like you never seen him do.
Right. He wrestled completely different in Japan than he did in the WWE.
Yeah.
It was interesting to watch that, by the way.
Well, because I think Japan really made him work for his money.
Yeah, they probably like, look, dude, we're paying you thousands of dollars. You're gonna fucking work in a different way.
This ain't the WWF. You're not gonna come in here and work the way you work in WWF with your same old finish over and over.
Yeah, and your 20-minute pose downs and shit.
Yeah, that's the one thing that always got me about Hulk Hogan was the damn 20-minute pose downs.
Right. It was kind of annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what other wrestlers do you know that just after every match get to sit there and just have a pose down and celebrate for fucking like 20 minutes?
Right.
It's
kind of crazy.
I mean, I can understand the pose downs when Hulk Hogan, like, after he, when he won the championship or has, like, a really big win over somebody, like when he came back against Earthquake, and, it's like, after, you win, it's like, okay, that deal deserves, a pose down and all that stuff, but you're out there doing it after every fucking match. And then, here's the crazy thing. In 1992, they were so adamant about having Hulk Hogan have to do the 20-minute fucking pose down that even if he loses, he's got to chase the fucking bad guys off and still give the fucking pose down.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
They
Yeah,
did that at the 1992 Royal Rumble when Ric Flair won the WWF title.
yeah,
It's like Hulk Hogan had to like chase off, wouldn't even let Ric Flair celebrate. Ric Flair had to go celebrate backstage in a backstage interview while Hulk Hogan was out in the ring giving his fucking
yeah,
20-minute pose
yeah.
down.
That's a bit much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and same thing at WrestleMania 9. Him and Brutus Beefcake took on Ted DiBiase and Erwin R. Shyster. They lost the match via disqualification, but then after the match, they chased off $1 Million Man and Erwin R. Shyster and still gave like a fucking 20-minute pose down, like him, like like acting like they won the match. Like, dude, you guys lost. Why are you celebrating?
I don't know, but what we're gonna do here for a minute, I do want to play the WWE pays tribute to Hulk Hogan here real quick.
Sounds good.
So let's listen in on this for a few minutes. You hear Triple
Okay.
H speaking. Oh yeah, God's going wild, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hell yeah.
yesterday we lost one of the biggest and most globally recognized
Oh yeah,
icons in the world.
that's true.
A man I grew up watching, was fortunate enough to share the ring with, and
Yeah.
like so many of us, were honored to call a friend. The truth is, he captivated millions of people and inspired them around the globe.
That's true.
Yeah.
We would not be standing here right now, all of us together, if it was not for him.
Yeah, that might have been true. Yeah,
That is true because you got to figure Hulk Hogan made
So
basically
please
wrestling.
help us honor him
That's true.
now
Yeah.
as we give a 10-bell salute to Terry Bollea,
Mhm.
the one and the only, the immortal Hulk Hogan.
Wow. Yeah.
That was, it's funny, that's one of the many 10-bell suits we got during the week.
Yeah, he got a couple more, but this one was the first one.
Yeah. Oh, they said it was the only wrestler in history that got 3 10-bell salutes in
Yeah.
1 week.
So there's that video. I like the part where there was a guy in there. He's holding up a Hulk Hogan figure. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, that's sad, man. I mean, you lost like the biggest known wrestler,
Yeah.
which I swear I thought he would have went on. You know,
Yeah. It's crazy to think that, like,
one minute you're here, the next you're out.
when somebody says, like, hey, man, this person was my childhood hero,
Right.
I mean, yeah, you could say that about Hulk Hogan. Like, growing
Yeah.
up as a kid, like, watching him, whether it be in wrestling, whether it be in movies, whether it be on a talk show, or anything, you were just always like, man, that guy's a bad dude,
Yeah.
and it's like he's the ultimate like good guy.
Right.
Like I
Until they
was
turned bad guy in WCW.
yeah, but that wasn't until fucking years later. By that
Right.
time, I was, old enough to really understand. I mean, when you're a kid, all you see is like the big fucking like jacked up like good guy that's gonna come out there and fight off all the bad guys and put on a show. And but it's like
Right.
as you get older, you really see what wrestling's all about, and it's like, when he turned heel in '96, you're like, oh, I mean, you understand why he's turned heel because he's getting booed out of the building as a good guy.
Right.
Like, oh, y'all want to boo me out of the building? I'll really make y'all boo me. I'll embrace the boos.
And he did it well.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about his passing because it says here on May 14th, 2025, Hogan underwent a 4-level fusion procedure. Uh, Close friend Jimmy Hart and Eric Bischoff noted a rapid decline in Hogan's health following his neck fusion surgery.
I wish.
It says here, he says Bischoff recalled Hogan sounding weak, and it says here on July 18th, his other friend Bubba Love Sponge reported that Hogan was seriously ill in the hospital and might not make it. Hogan passed away, let's see, Clearwater, Florida, at his home on the morning of July 24th at the age of 71. He collapsed while doing therapy after returning home from the hospital and was taken by paramedics to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Wow.
Yeah.
And it says his official cause of death was a heart attack, but it says his medical records later revealed that he was battling leukemia.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been
Chronic
hearing
leukemia.
about that. And, like, this and that he had, like, secretly was battling leukemia and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, so the man, this is not good. Plus, just coming off a neck surgery,
Yeah.
fusion.
And plus, you got to figure, too, all the years of abuse he put on his body.
Oh, yeah, with all that stress. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine the stress he was under when he was like the #1 wrestler in the late
Yeah, because
80s.
you can't fuck around. You have to maintain that fucking image.
Not just the image, the body, the traveling, the
Yeah,
wrestling every night, the bumps, the hits, the clotheslines, all that shit. I
yeah, and
mean,
people say, I mean, they know wrestling was predetermined, but
yeah, but your
even
body's
more
going
like,
through hell.
yeah, but when you see what that ring is made out of, what they wrestle on
Yeah,
every single night,
yeah. Plus
like,
getting
I mean,
stiffed by other wrestlers. He wrestled Vader. I'm sure Vader fucking stiffed the fuck out of him.
yeah,
You know,
and I'm
so
saying just being body slammed and dropped on that fucking mat over and over and over.
night
I
after
mean,
night.
you can see not just with Hulk Hogan, but a lot of wrestlers back in the day. Sometimes they hit that fucking mat and they just be like, "Oh fuck,"
Yeah, they
you
get
know?
fucked up. That's why they're in pain all the time. And I've heard many wrestlers say it takes them like an hour and a half, 2 hours just to get out of bed when they wake up in the morning.
Yeah, I tell you what's really sad is what I heard from Mick Foley. Mick
Yeah,
Foley said that he's to the point where his wife has to put on his shoes for him
yeah,
because he cannot bend down far enough to put his own shoes on anymore.
yeah,
That's fucking sad. I mean, well, going through a fucking cage like he did and fucking landing on that mat, dude, I'm surprised he didn't break his fucking back.
Yeah, because yeah, a lot of wrestlers get messed up.
Yeah. You know what though? That was one thing about Hulk Hogan. Like you never seen him go through any kind of crazy shit like that.
Right. He didn't jump
Like
off the top ropes or nothing like that.
no, he didn't do nothing. I mean, his thing was just like all the show. Like you have a back and forth battle. His opponent would get the upper hand. He'd hit his finisher on Hulk. Hulk would do the classic kick out and Hulk up, and
Right.
you
There's
know the big boot, the big leg drop,
right. The one,
the
two, three.
20-minute pose down afterwards.
Yeah. A lot of people showed up
Uh,
for his funeral, by the way, here. It says in Florida. Vince McMahon was there, Stephanie McMahon, Dennis
yeah,
Rodman.
they said even Donald Trump was there.
Wow. Dennis Rodman was there, Ric Flair was there, Kid Rock, even Bam Margera was there.
Yeah,
Because I know they were friends. Triple H, Stephanie. That's wild, man.
yeah. What's crazy is though they said that his wife and his ex-wife were there.
Right, but his daughter wasn't.
Yeah,
So
they found out. Dude, I found out that's some crazy shit that
I guess they had a falling out.
they had a falling out a while back. Like Brooke is married and has kids now, and they
Yeah.
said that Hulk Hogan never once even like met his grandchildren.
Yeah. It says something like, I guess they had a falling out back in 2023.
Yeah,
I guess and so they haven't had nothing to do with each other in a few years. She did
I
not
want.
attend the
I
funeral.
wonder what that all was about. Like, 'cause I mean,
Oh,
when you watch their previous shows, like Hogan Knows Best and Brooke Knows Best, I mean, you see how much he loved his daughter.
oh yeah. I was just
Like,
people have falling outs. And
yeah,
plus, I'm sure she wasn't expecting him to pass away, like a lot of us. We were just
yeah.
shocked.
Or maybe she got married, and remember Hulk was always particular about like, oh, nobody's gonna be dating my daughter, brother. Yeah,
Uh,
but
let's see
I don't
here.
know. I mean, it's like I said, that's crazy. Like the stuff you learn about someone, like that's the thing about years ago when you're growing up and you're a big Hulkamaniac, and later on in life you grow up and you finally like when the internet and all this came about, then you can learn the history of Hulk Hogan and hear about all the bullshit backstage politics that
Right.
that he had creative control, like he picked and choose who he wanted to. I mean that's how it was in WCW. I heard he was picking and choosing who he wanted to work with.
Right. While getting those big paychecks.
Yeah, that's why the feud with Vader and Hulk Hogan didn't really work out because Hulk Hogan didn't really care to work with Vader is what they're saying.
And well, that's see, I believe he kind of messed up. They could have built something so big with that.
Yeah, they could have built such a monster feud between the two of them to
Right.
where like it would have been badass, but WCW dropped the fucking ball on that. I
Big
looked at
time.
it, they dropped the ball on their feud the very first time you ever saw Vader, and Hulk Hogan get kind of get their hands on each other. You saw Vader fucking powerbomb Hulk, lay him out, and then within 2 seconds, Hulk popped right back up to his feet, completely no-sold it, and started throwing right hands at Vader and driving him out of the ring.
Yeah, which is pretty pathetic.
Like wow, you all just killed. I mean, all the heat, you know. Like
Right.
you're supposed to be building Vader as this bad motherfucker, former WCW champion's been destroying people like Sting and Ricky Steamboat, Nikita
Right.
Koloff, and all these guys. And then to have him, if he would have power bombed Hulk and Hulk would have sold it to where he would have been out of it and ended with Vader fucking celebrating, like that would have blown up right there. People like, oh, dude, Vader's got Hogan's number and all
Right.
this, and they could have played off that, but no. Like Hulk Hogan's classic words, that don't work for me, brother.
Right.
I gotta be the one closing out the show. I can't let the bad guy close out the show.
Right. Which kind of irritated me because
Yeah.
Hogan wouldn't change. You know, that those
No,
type of things. He would never lose. You know.
no, I mean, and if you did lose, it was very fucking rarely. Like,
Right. Ultimate Warrior got him.
yeah, one match that surprised me. There was a match on WCW Nitro back in '96. It was Hulk Hogan against Arn Anderson, and you were like, never in your mind you would have thought that Arn Anderson would have beat Hulk Hogan. Well, I mean, it wasn't like legit. There was a lot of interference, a lot of this and that, but near the end of the match, like Arn Anderson got the 1-2-3 on Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, like, we're thinking, wow, that's fucking crazy. Like, never would you have thought that Arn Anderson would have beat Hulk Hogan.
Got the 1-2-3 on him.
Yeah.
It's
I
pretty
mean, then
crazy.
again, he did hit him with like a fucking shoe or something.
Right.
And
So let's
well,
see.
you know what's funny though? I mean, if you look at the way Hulk Hogan lost many of his matches, like he rarely ever just got beat straight up. Like the only one who ever truly beat him straight up was the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah. WrestleMania.
Yeah, WrestleMania 6. Like
Right.
you look at all of his losses after that, like when he lost to the Undertaker in '91, it took fucking Ric Flair sliding a chair in the Hulk Hogan tombstone on that did Hulk Hogan in.
Right.
You know.
Now
Or
let's see
but
here.
yeah.
I want to play another video also here.
Okay.
Dana White, who owns the UFC, who is friends with Hulk Hogan. I want to play what he has to say about Hogan.
Sounds good.
So let's check it
CEO and
out.
president of the UFC, Dana White, is here. Dana, thanks so much for joining us on this special night.
Thanks for having me.
What did Hulk Hogan mean to you and mean to America?
Yeah, I'm 55 years old, so I grew up right in that, you know, when the WWF was massive and Hulk
yeah.
was becoming a really big star. And I watched the WWF back then, and I was a Hulk Hogan fan.
I mean, I was watching him
Everybody
just as
was.
much as you were. I mean,
Oh,
the guy
yeah.
defined my era. You were behind the scenes with him at the RNC. What was that like?
Yeah, it's funny because I was actually on a family vacation. I flew from Italy to Milwaukee, and when I got there, they walked me literally right in to a holding room where they had me and Kid Rock. But on the way to my room, Hulk Hogan grabbed me and asked me if he could talk to me privately for a second. And he pulled me aside, and you know, I'll never forget that conversation that we had that night.
That's awesome.
And yeah, he was a good man. He was special. He loved the president, and obviously he loved America.
He did, from the bottom of his heart. And he sacrificed so much for America and for the American people, just the toll that his performances take
Oh, yeah.
on a body.
Yeah,
What does that tell you
absolutely.
about him?
Well, he's a
I mean,
bad-
anybody who's in any type of sport that's physical, you know, they're obviously very passionate. They love the sport, and you know, when you give your body like these guys do, you're doing it because you love it, and it's what you want to do for a living. That's why you know, whether you're a fighter, a professional wrestler, a football player, whatever it might be, it's what you choose to do because it's what you're passionate.
And the guy was a real man's man. I mean, and in
He
the
was a
80s,
man's man. That is a fact.
that was what it was all about. You had Hogan, you had Tyson, you had Trump, and these guys were just flying off the wall. The flag was flying. What did that era represent?
Listen, I grew up in that era. That's my era. And I think that everybody, whatever era they grew up in is, the best era to them. But the 80s were incredible. I mean,
Yes, they
and
were.
not just them. Guys like Stallone and Arnold, and the list goes on of the men's men of that era. And, to me, Reagan. I mean, I can go on and on.
The 80s.
It was the best. I say it all the time. I'm really happy that I grew up in the era that I grew up in, the 80s, and I'm really happy that I'm going to be leaving in the era that I'm going to be leaving in. I'm very, very happy with where my time laid out in this world.
Well, it's been a great time. You're just a little older than I am, but I think we're on the same path here. In a way, did Hogan and the WWF, did that kind of tee you up at the UFC?
Yeah, I was more of a boxing guy, but to say that the WWE, boxing, and other things of that time, from the Muhammad Ali's to Hulk Hogan, Vince, and Don King, and all the guys who paved the way for me to be where I am today, all had an impact and a lasting impression in my life, and definitely. The way that the UFC is today and the things that I've done to build it all have a little piece of all those guys and their business.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're a great promoter. He was an amazing promoter, and I hope tonight there's just going to be millions of people tearing off their shirts or trying to.
Yeah.
It's not easy depending on what kind of shirt you have.
Yeah, true.
How strong you are. Dana White, thank you so much. Click here.
You gotta have those pre-cut shirts like Hulk Hogan had.
Yeah, some of those shirts are probably a motherfucker to rip. But yeah, that was a cool little clip there with Dana White talking about Hulk Hogan.
It's bad, dude. I got a Hulk Hogan shirt when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And within the first day or two that I had it, I didn't realize tearing it was not a good thing. And I fucking ripped it off. I was like, oh no. Realizing that I don't have, I just ruined it.
Yeah, you just ripped the Hulk Hogan shirt, and it's no good now.
I wonder how many people actually kept because he would always do a thing where he would rip his shirt off and he would throw it to the fans.
Right.
I wonder if some of the people actually caught that ripped up shirt actually still has it. Man, Hulk Hogan wore this. He tore this off at this match, and I caught it.
Yeah. Now, this is an interesting video I found. It's a behind-the-scenes WWF promo. It says never shown on TV. The one that I let you listen with Hulk Hogan. She's really hyped up with the Ultimate Warrior. I guess this happened in '91. But let's listen in on this. This says July of 1991.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Something Sergeant Slaughter and your goon squad. I gotta be the luckiest man on earth, brother. Hulkamania, the Warriors are gonna live forever. 3 times the WWF champion, man. And now, the snake by Jake that bit the Warrior has been a blessing in disguise. We even took our training quarters this last week and moved it to the Amazon jungle, man. Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior are looking for the biggest snake around to bite me. I tried to snap him out of it, but halfway through the seance, halfway through the exorcism, as I was stuffing Hulk Hogan vitamins down his face, I realized it wasn't going to work. So what do you do in a crisis like this? You just go with the flow, brothers. If it's napalm you want, it's napalm you're not going to get. If it's chemical warfare you want, it's chemical warfare you're not going to get. You're dealing with a devil in disguise now, brother. Hulk Hogan, the Hulkamaniacs, and all the Warriors realize we're in the war mode, man. They've given us the green light to do whatever we want to do, man. And as far as Sid Justice goes, brother, the best thing for you to do would be to grab a ringside seat, because I'd hate for one of the Pythons or one of the Warriors Ham Hawks to strike you down in your premier heyday at Madison Square Garden. Things are going our way. The Warriors, the Maniacs have united. And what you gonna do, Sarge and your goons, when we completely destroy you?
That's awesome. Oh yeah, man. He got into it on that one. That's fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
Fucking yeah, Hogan was the man back in the day, man. He had it going on. Let's see here. I want to play a little bit also of this Buff Bagwell.
If you noticed in that promo, he kind of right there started the rivalry with him and Sid Justice later on.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about your best bet is just to sit in a chair. Don't want one of these pythons and one of these ham hocks to knock you down in your premiere.
Yeah. Now, I'm only going to play like a minute or two of this next video from Buff Bagwell, but it's a 10-minute video.
Poor Buff Bagwell, man.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. He lost his leg. He'd have it taken off. That sucks. So, I'm going to play just a minute or two of this Buff Bagwell remembers Hulk Hogan, a tribute to a wrestling icon. The whole video's on YouTube if anybody wants to see it, but let's just play like a minute of this or two.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Marcus Buff Bagwell here, and today we have truly lost a legend. I've got the proper shirt on for this today, because I mean, wow, Hulk Hogan. I'm devastated on this. It really is a big deal, man. This is anybody that didn't like pro wrestling, anybody that didn't like Hulk Hogan, if they had to pick a Mount Rushmore for pro wrestling, then Hulk Hogan would 100% be one on everybody's Mount Rushmores.
Right.
So that's incredible. He truly is what got wrestling on the map. In the early days, him and Andre, and then the Rocky as Thunder Lips.
Yeah,
Thunder Lips. Some of the best stuff ever, and it really was tremendous on how that
Thunder Lips.
Yeah, how that just launched pro wrestling, And again, you got to realize I'm in the era of having see pro wrestling.
Yeah,
where you have to beg people to come in for a television taping, and all the way to us selling out the Georgia Dome.
Wow.
And even in that generation, you got to remember that wrestling still wasn't like it is now. It wasn't thousands of fans turning out. It wasn't sellouts. We were begging people to come into center stage, a 500-seat arena, to do a television taping for free. We gave a bicycle away halfway through.
Wow.
And then I remember one of the first big things we did was we hired the Nasty Boys. They were WWF.
Oh, yeah.
We were just WCW. Nobody knew us. But now we got WWF guys. And then it was Macho. But when Hulk came over, even in the beginning of Hulk coming over, we thought it was going to be the greatest thing ever. We do an overseas tour, and it did great for us, the boys of WCW, because we wasn't used to seeing nobody at our shows, and it was a lot better, but it wasn't what the company was thinking. It was not what they were hoping. And I remember the feeling through the boys and the company was that this wasn't going to work, that Hulk Hogan wasn't going to save WCW. He just wasn't. It wasn't going to be what we thought.
Well, he turned heel at some point.
And then came the NWO.
Oh, yeah.
And
turning heel.
Wow. Did it all come together?
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Nash and Scott Hall and Hulk turned uniforms with the red and yellow. I mean, nobody
Was expecting that.
knew that he was going to turn bad. We didn't know.
I
Nobody
didn't
knew.
even.
This
You know
was
what's funny? I always try to
Hulk
predict.
Hogan, yellow and red. Take your
I never would
vitamins.
have thought that.
Hulkamaniacs.
And it was a
To
fantastic
be
move
Hollywood
on their part,
Hogan, the
everyone's
bad
part.
guy, and I, Marcus Alexander Bagwell, got to
As
be a
Buff
part
Bagwell.
of his journey with the NWO. I mean, it was incredible, brother.
Oh yeah,
When you
the late '90s.
look around in the ring you're in, and
You know what?
cameras are
Joining the
rolling,
NWO was a
and you
great
happen to be
deal.
in the same ring that
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan's in, you, my friend, have done the right thing.
We pause it there. We're about 4 minutes
Yeah.
in, but yeah, if watch the whole videos on YouTube for everyone to see it. But
You
that
know
was
what,
cool.
Buff Bagwell joining the NWO back in the day when was big time for his career because
Right.
prior to that he was stuck in like a babyface tag team with Scotty Riggs as the American males
Right.
coming out doing the damn hand clapping. It's like, but when he dumped that gimmick and went NWO and became Buff Bagwell.
Right. And put on a lot of muscle.
Yeah, and I mean that was like the best. Just like with Hulk Hogan, you know, going from being a good guy, booed out good guy to, you know, turning heel and just becoming like badass again. You know, becoming the man again.
Right. The heel turn definitely like re-sparked his career big time.
One, because it was a lot easier. Instead of being, you know, the ultimate good guy where you were the one out there fighting night in, night out, that, you know, this and that, like, he got to not, you know, kind of tone down his wrestling. If you watch, when they became NWO, they didn't wrestle a whole lot.
Yeah, well, plus at that time he was in his 40s. You know,
Yeah.
he was probably in a good amount of pain, so there's only so much he can do.
Yeah, but I mean, when he came out and did those skits with NWO where they were attacking people or doing it back, like, it was still badass. And when you got to see Hulk Hogan actually jump in, and I remember when he turned NWO into the next pay-per-view, he already was like fighting for the WCW title against the Giant.
Yeah.
Which later became the Big Show.
Right. I remember Sting like disappearing but reappearing once in a while. He'll show up and then disappear.
Yeah, he was doing that because like the NWO brought in like their own Sting. Like, and try to make everybody believe that Sting was turning heel, and a lot of people started to truly believe it. And Sting got mad at everybody, like, I've been here since the start, and you all want to turn your back on me, not even asking me.
Yeah, because he was the biggest one in WCW back in the day.
Yeah,
you know,
because you got to figure Sting was the one way before even Hulk came in. Like, Sting was like the number one WCW guy,
right?
But then when you had Ric Flair back there, you had Hulk Hogan come in. It's like, I always thought, like, it's kind of weird how they brought in Hulk Hogan and just kind of brushed off Sting to the side.
Yeah. But then when he started doing that, coming from the fucking way up top, the rafters coming down with his bat and beat the shit out of people, I thought that was cool, man.
The only thing I didn't like is how much he was copying fucking Brandon.
Oh, yeah, the Crow. But it worked. He made it work.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did copy that. That was just some interesting times back then. What a hell of a wave of awesomeness of wrestling back in the late 90s.
Dude, I remember when they actually, this was like early of 98, or when they had Sting come out, like, when he was still in that silent Crow mode, he finally, like, spoke during a promo with Hulk Hogan. Yeah. Where they decided to declare the WCW belt vacant.
Right.
Sting grabbed a microphone and, like, shoved James J. Dillon back and said something like, He looks at JJ and goes, "You got no guts." And then he turns to Hulk and goes, "And you, you're a dead man."
Damn.
and
Damn.
and the commentators are like, "Oh my God, Sting has spoken," because it's like the first time in a year that you heard Sting actually say something.
Right.
You know,
That's cool, man. I love those
I
times for
didn't. You
sure.
know what? When Sting started that Crow deal, where he was popping out every now and then, and you didn't know whose side he was on, because he made you think that he was with NWO at one point and with WCW. It's like you don't know who he really is fighting for until he really came out one day and truly attacked the NWO.
Right.
But like that was the only time I really thought like this is dumb. Like I'm tired of seeing Sting come out every week and like, just dropping somebody with a Scorpion Death Drop and then just walking away. Like the fuck, man, come on.
Get out there and wrestle.
Yeah. But Hulk Hogan, though, man, when he turned and became Hollywood Hulk Hogan, that was a big deal.
Damn right it was. That was like the first.
I remember actually watching Bash at the Beach, and when Hulk Hogan turned heel, and he came out during it was Hall and Nash and Sting and Macho Man and Luger, and NWO said we're gonna have a third man. And then, like when you see Hulk Hogan walking out, he came out with his red and his yellow on, like clearly making you think that he's going to jump in and help Team WCW. And instead, he just goes and leg drops the Macho Man. Like you're like, oh my God, he's like Bobby Heenan said it best. He's like, he's a third man.
Oh yeah.
That's another thing too. All the years of commentating. Remember all the times that Bobby Heenan would commentate how much he hated Hulk Hogan, and like always had to have back in the '80s, he had all his wrestlers that he managed never could have one of his guys defeat Hulk Hogan.
Right.
And he always carried such a thing with Hulk. We always called him like, yeah, and all these Hulkamaniacs, they're crying, screw Hulk Hogan, and then when Hulk Hogan turned bad, like, he's like, I knew you could never trust Hulk Hogan. I always knew it.
That's funny. Good times.
But that was badass, though, man. Fucking Hulk Hogan doing the NWO, and then later on, he a couple years later, he came back out with the red and yellow. It's like when you see him come back out in the red and yellow, like years ago. Like, I mean, the fucking roof could blow off the fucking building.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, it's old school Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that's what they said that shit can do for you when you're a fan favorite for so long. Your shit gets stale. The fact that Hulk Hogan never changed anything about his career, like his look or the way he did things.
Right, up until then.
Yeah, by the time, like I said, the 90s rolled around, people just weren't down with that gimmick anymore.
Right. And when the NWO came in, that was like like Buff Bagwell said, that was it.
Yeah, I mean, look what it did for Buff Bagwell's career.
Yeah.
Prior to NWO, he was Marcus Alexander Bagwell.
Right.
But when they repackaged him as Buff Bagwell and just let him fucking jack up and, let him loose on the mic and, put him in the fucking feuds. And
his career went up.
Yeah, especially when they teamed Buff Bagwell up with Scott Steiner.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That was one hell of a team, dude. Like,
oh, yeah. That was some good times there, man.
But yeah, that was when it was the best times to truly be a wrestling fan.
Yeah. Late 90s, man. The fucking, like I said, the wave of the 90s was, I think, some of the coolest times.
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure not just what, like, in the 90s, you got the NWO and Hulk Hogan turning heel.
Right.
Also in the 90s was the birth of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh yeah, one of the biggest wrestlers of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
only wrestler who ever had a shirt outsell a Hulk Hogan shirt.
Which you had purchased back then too.
Yes, I did.
You purchased the original Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt.
Yeah, the Austin 316 with the smoking skull and Stone Cold. Like, the only bad thing is I had to wait like 3 months to get that shirt because it was on. Everybody was ordering and sold out, and we had to get it on back order, and then it sold out again.
I mean, at that time he was so fucking big. His merchandise was going.
Hell, you get to a point where you watch WWF and yes, and okay, here's the thing. I heard the guy say it earlier about calling the old days of WWF, WWE. I call the old days WWF. That's what I grew up with.
Yeah, same here.
Right. And then it kind of irritates me when somebody goes, "Oh, remember back in the '80s, the WWE." It's like, no, motherfucker. It wasn't the WWE in the '80s. It was the WWF, the World Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, up until 2002, 2003, something like that.
Yeah, about 2001, 2002, they turned it to WWE. At first, it was called WWFE, and then they had a slogan saying "Get the F out."
Right, I like that commercial, by the way.
And it's like, and then they shortened it up to WWE. It's like, I mean, okay, WWE is what it is currently. But when somebody refers to 80s and 90s wrestling and they call it WWE, it's like, no, that was not the WWE at the time. That was WWF.
Right. Good times, yeah, wrestling was on fire in the fucking 90s.
Yeah,
all around, not just WWF, the WCW, ECW.
Yep, you had there was a time in the earlier '90s where they had some minor companies actually get TV deals and started getting their names out there. There was Global Wrestling Federation. There was bigger shows like USWA and Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Like in the mid '90s was if you really loved wrestling, you started really getting a fucking variety, where they call it you get a smorgasbord.
Right. Good variety. You had FMW. At one point you had Glow in the 80s into the early 90s, I believe.
And plus, you had World Class Wrestling, Devon Eriks and Freebirds.
Even big time.
Even in the early 90s, you had IWCCW, which stood for International World Class Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, good variety there.
But yeah, I mean, you had a lot of other shows that were coming up and that, didn't have the big budgets like WWF or WCW, but some of these shows have put on like USWA, the company by Jerry Lawler, they would have their shows every week, basically in a gym, a school gym. They'd have a fucking ring set up. You have just probably not even 100 or so people sitting down inside watching as they brought out Jerry Lawler, Eddie Gilbert,
right,
Jeff Jarrett and all them, and Smoky Mountain Wrestling. That started becoming a big deal with Jim Cornette.
Yeah,
because they even had a deal where Smoky Mountain Wrestling did a deal with WWF, where WWF sent talent over to one of their shows, same they did with USWA.
Yeah.
It's funny.
There's a lot there.
It's funny in the WWF, Jerry Lawler was one of the most hated bad guys back in the day. But if you go back and you watch his USWA, he was like the Hulk Hogan of USWA.
Awesome.
You know,
Yeah.
he was like that big star where he actually like in WWF he would always work as a heel. In USWA he was like the big baby face.
Yeah.
Always coming out there like, here we go.
Good stuff. So I guess now what we're going to do is we're going to switch gears.
Okay.
And we're going to be answering some questions from Daniel Santana, and then we can wrap this one up.
Sounds good to me, boss.
We got some questions here, Hulk Hogan questions
All
from
right.
Daniel, which are pretty good. So, first question is, let's see, was Hogan the main guy that made Joe get into wrestling, or was it someone else?
I would definitely say it was, yeah. I mean, that was one of the first, I watched wrestling back in the day, but the one wrestler that stood out to me was Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. For him, he says it was Bret Hart.
Yeah. I mean, that's understandable. I mean, Bret Hart in the 90s, started becoming
pretty
a big star with WWF after Hogan left.
Right.
When he started becoming world champion, intercontinental champion, and all that. But it's funny. And if you go back to like '86 and WrestleMania 2, and Bret Hart was working with Jim the Anvil Neidhart in a battle royal, and he got him chucked out he picked up by Andre and thrown down on his own partner.
Damn.
It's funny when you go back in the 80s, you see like a wrestler who really wasn't that big of a star, and then you go like 5 years later and see him, he's one of like the biggest stars in company history.
Damn.
I mean, but then again, that wrestling can shock you like that, but definitely growing up, the one that was for me was Hulk Hogan because I started watching wrestling in the 80s, and one of the first shows I vaguely remember, one of the first memories was a Saturday Night's Main Event with Hulk Hogan and Don Morocco, where Hogan got basically creamed by King Kong Bundy afterwards.
Yeah.
It was a whole build up to WrestleMania 2 where they had Bundy avalanche him and splash him again, and it was basically the first time you ever saw Hulk Hogan basically laid out.
Right.
And being carried off on a stretcher, and you're like, as a kid, I remember it just freaked me out, like seeing my hero like being carted off on a stretcher, like not knowing if he's okay or not.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, y'all know what happened. He came back, wrestled at WrestleMania 2, and then just went on from there. But but that was when, like I said, when wrestling was really getting good. And he, watching him for years, as the ultimate good guy.
Yeah.
How many times could you hear him say your prayers and eat your vitamins?
Many times. Let's see here. Next question is, what is Joe's favorite Hulk Hogan feud of all time?
Oh.
His is with Sergeant Slaughter, I guess.
Yeah, that was a fucking great rivalry because you had
back in '91, I guess.
Yeah,
a Desert Storm match.
Yeah, when Sergeant Slaughter, he was, we had that whole war going on with, like in Iraq and stuff, and back then, and WWF was playing it off by having Sergeant Slaughter be a big heel and, kind of like denouncing USA and, basically saying like he's now, with Iraq and all this, and they brought in Iron Sheik and repackaged him as Colonel Mustafa.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, and then, Hulk Hogan being the ultimate American, it was oh, this is like let's really play this thing, like really have a U.S. versus Iraq, rivalry.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty good, but I would always have to go with probably the one of the big feuds was the feud between him and the Macho Man,
Okay.
and that led up to their WrestleMania 5 match because the I thought it was I remember watching the fucking Saturday Night's Main Event where it was Hulk Hogan and Macho Man against Big Boss Man and Akeem.
Hmm.
And during the match, Macho Man got chucked out of the ring and he wound up like taking out Miss Elizabeth. And during the match, like Hulk Hogan just basically abandoned like Macho Man to stay out there and wrestle while he picked up Miss Elizabeth and like took her to the back to receive medical attention. Didn't come back till like sometime later when Macho Man was basically beaten the fuck up and tried to come in, and Macho Man got so pissed he tagged him in and basically like walked off on him like, no, you're gonna wrestle by yourself now, bro. I'm going to check on my girl.
Yeah.
And later on Hulk Hogan came back and they had the whole interview like argument, like but they're arguing why Miss Elizabeth is laying on a fucking stretcher hurt, and point where Hogan turns around at one point and Macho Man just blasts him and starts beating on him. I remember Brutus Beefcake ran out and was like grabbed something from him and just yelled at him like, what are you doing, man? And Macho Man just decked him.
Yeah, he's a wild card, man.
Yeah. And their whole deal like is it's like it was just like, wow, like what happened to Macho Man? Like, why did he just like he had such a great team going with Hulk Hogan,
right?
And then he winds up just turning on him.
Yeah,
because he was because Macho Man was fucking getting at it like he was in Hulk Hogan's shadow basically. I mean he was the champion, but he was like basically second fiddle to Hulk Hogan.
Right, that's true. Even though he was a far better wrestler than Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, it's like if you think about it, it's kind of like the same deal like in Rocky V when Tommy became like trained by Stallone and he whooped everybody's ass, became champion. No matter what he did, like he was second fiddle to Stallone.
Right.
It's like that guy got in his ear and told him, if like you want to prove that you're the best, you got to go out there and beat him, Tommy Gunn.
Now, let's see here. Next question is Hulk Hogan. He had a black eye at WrestleMania 9 in 1993.
Yep.
It says, did Joe believe that Hulk Hogan was in an automobile accident? Or did he feel it was that he got punched in real life because on a radio show, Matt Osborne, original Doink the Clown, said Hogan got into an altercation with Macho Man in real life? Oh, interesting. That's interesting.
No, I mean, I don't believe. I mean, it's been told by many people that his eye injury or what happened by getting hit with I forgot what they called it. Like it was like a boat, like a small boat, or
well, it's a snowmobile accident.
Yeah, it was something that he had that came up and hit him in the face, and but yeah, I mean they said it back then what it was, but I know the WWF tried to like push it off, like, oh, he got attacked backstage, and
right.
But look at that. It's funny. At WrestleMania 9, he had that whole fucked up eye deal. And that was the night where later on he went out after Bret Hart lost the WWF title to Yokozuna. Hulk Hogan like jumped in, had like an impromptu match in like 10 seconds, was the new WWF champion.
You sure that was WrestleMania 9?
Yeah.
Okay, didn't we do a full on? We did a full review on that, I believe.
We did. Yep.
But we haven't posted it yet. That's the thing.
Yeah, so y'all be getting a WrestleMania 9.
We've been filming a lot of watching reviews on wrestling events, but some of them I haven't gotten around to posting yet, but in due time.
But no, yeah, WrestleMania 9. He came out like he worked that tag match, and later at the event he came out after Yoko beat Brett and got challenged by Mr. Fuji, and they had like an impromptu like 10 to 20-second match, and Hogan beat him.
Right. And then he was
he lost at the next event, lost that King of the Ring back to Yokozuna. That was basically Hulk Hogan's last match.
Before going to WCW?
Yeah. I will say this, what was crazy about Hulk Hogan's last match in WCW or WWF before he went to WCW, like the way his last match ended with him getting beat by Yokozuna. Not only getting beat by Yokozuna, but even afterwards, like Yoko set him up for a fucking bonsai drop and nailed it, and Bobby Heenan even yelled out like Hulkamania is dead.
Yeah.
And I think that was like, really saying like, yeah, this is it for Hulk, like, because you never got like Hulk Hogan coming back out there getting revenge on Yokozuna or the guy that whoever it was that shot a fireball in his face.
Right.
Like they moved on to have him, start feuding with fucking Lex Luger, like, because when Hogan left, Vince had the idea of making Lex Luger the new Hulk Hogan, like giving him the whole America fucking deal with the red, white, and blue tights, and
right.
And even going as far as calling him made in the USA, Lex Luger.
Yeah. WrestleMania 9. That was the Caesar's Palace one.
Yeah, that was one of the most awesome WrestleManias because it was held outdoors for a change.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, we did do a whole watching review on that bad boy.
Yes, we did.
As a matter of fact, there was a dark match, the Tito Santana versus Papa Shango. We reviewed that on the fucking event because that match is posted on YouTube, which is cool. And I'd have to say the best match on that fucking event was the Steiner Brothers match against the Head Shrinkers.
Yeah,
you guys will hear about it when I post that review. Yeah. That was a hell of a match, wasn't it?
That one move they did where he caught him in midair and fucking turned him into a slam on the other person's shoulders.
Yeah, he caught him in midair and like was going back, and he flipped out of the fucking ring, and even I heard Macho Man say something like, "Whoa, I've never seen some shit like that before." So that
when Scott Steiner they were gonna like.
I think they were gonna do a different type of move, but he ended up going out of the fucking ring big time.
They were originally gonna do a deal where they called a slingshot, where the guy picks him up, comes over, and the guy grabs him by the head and makes him believe that he drives his neck down on the ring rope, and they kind of clothesline him off the ring rope.
Yeah, he wound up going over that motherfucker.
Yeah, there was like he picked him up when they came over. He was just carrying so much steam that he, let him go too far. And when the guy grabbed his head, it just went straight to the fucking floor.
Yeah, hell of a match. I highly recommend that one.
Scott Steiner, man, it's funny how the big change in his career came.
Yeah, a few years later in WCW,
becoming Big Papa Pump.
Oh yeah.
Holler, if you hear me.
Oh yeah. Let's see here.
I always thought that line was kind of funny, like saying "holler if you hear me."
Next question is, does Joe recall the Big Boss Man versus Hogan 1989 Blue Bar Steel Cage, Madison Square Garden?
Yes, I do. Hulk Hogan fucking suplexing Big Boss Man off the top of the cage, which basically laid them both out.
Damn.
That was one of the biggest highlights of that match. But
Blue Bar Steel Cage.
yeah, I mean,
That's
back in
cool.
the day, before you got the actual like fence to cage deal, like they just had the like these blue big bars, so like a jail cell cage type.
Right.
And you got that at like the earlier like WrestleManias, and like years later they did the whole just regular cage setup.
Yeah. Let's
I
see.
don't know. I think the blue, if they would have had a blue bar like cage with the roof to do their Hell in a Cell match, I think that would probably been better for Mick Foley because he wouldn't have went through it to the damn mat.
True.
That was, dude. That will go always down in history as the wildest. If I had to choose the wildest bump in in wrestling history, would probably be Mick Foley going through the cage straight to the ring. As one of the most sickening bumps you ever seen.
Right. I agree. He's hardcore, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee you, anybody else that would have went through that cage like that and landed on that stiff ass ring, I guarantee that they would have been done for.
Yeah, they would have been paralyzed or dead
Yeah, their back would have been broke.
or something bad.
I mean, look at Mick Foley though. He got up and he kept fucking going.
Yeah.
That was the match that really made Mick Foley a fucking star in WWF. Like, I mean, I know he'd been other stars as like Cactus Jack and all this, but when he showed how fucking tough he truly was, being thrown off that fucking cage,
Right.
landing through the fucking table, coming back, fighting on top, then going through the cage to the ring.
Yeah.
It's at this point too, dude. Like the first fall, he admitted he separated his shoulder on the first fall.
Right. He's not exactly a thin guy either. He's a heavier guy doing this type of shit. So he's bringing down a lot of weight.
Yeah, imagine coming off, like going through the cage, landing on that ring, and already having a separated shoulder.
Right.
Like, and the fact that he got up, wrestled for several more minutes with Undertaker, used tacks, got tombstone, all that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it was a hell of a match, man. And they wanted to stop the fucking match.
Yeah, I remember JR, when he landed through the ring, he's like, good God. Will somebody stop the damn match? That's enough.
Yeah.
I don't know what was funnier, that statement or when he went off the cage the first time. He's like, good God Almighty, they killed him.
Right. Yeah, it was a hell of a thing to watch. Let's see. Next question is, what did you think? What does Joe rank Hulk Hogan's promos? He gives them an 8 out of 10.
I'd say that's. I mean, yeah, it's pretty. I mean, his promos back in the day were fucking intense. Like that one
Yeah, like the one I just played a little while back.
Yeah, everyone here did. He just carried that intensity. Like, something, brother. When I get a hold of this boy, I'm gonna whip him good. I'm gonna throw him around the ring. I'm gonna clothesline him. I'm gonna leg drop him, and then don't forget my 20-minute pose down, brother.
Oh yeah.
And what you gonna do?
Let's see here. Next question is, what's Joe's favorite Hulk Hogan movie? His is Suburban Commando from 1991.
That's good, but I will say this: my favorite, No Holds Barred.
No Holds Barred's pretty good. That's probably close to my favorite. I'd have to say my favorite is Assault on Devil's Island, the TV film.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that came out in the late '90s. That WCW was hyping up. I watched it the night it aired. By the way,
Yeah, I did. They had that one, and they had a fucking sequel to come out.
yeah, it was. Let me see here.
Salt on
Death
was
Mountain.
yeah.
There's a
But I mean, yeah,
sequel.
I remember the Devil's Island one
Yeah,
because it had Shannon Tweed, I think her
yeah.
name
They had
was,
a good casting. It had
Will
Hulk Hogan,
Weathers.
Carl Weathers, who's passed away. Martin Cove,
Yeah,
Billy Drago, who's unfortunately passed away. Trevor God, what's his name? God Dorn, and he's the guy who played the Kano from the original Mortal Kombat film, and he's passed away.
damn.
And then we have Billy Blanks, of course, who
Yeah,
fought Hulk Hogan at the end of Assault on Devil's Island. Um, yeah, they hyped this one up pretty big, and it went over well. I remember October 28th from TNT,
I tell you,
1997. I watched it, like I said, the night it aired,
yeah.
and
Talk about our favorite Hulk Hogan or
movie.
movie. What was your least favorite movie?
Oh man, well, let's
As a
see.
matter of fact, Daniel Santana, if you're listening, I want to know what you tell me your favorite Hulk Hogan movie. I want to know your least favorite Hulk Hogan movie.
Yeah,
Because
least favorite.
I tell you mine, Three Ninjas Mega Mountain.
Yeah, I've never seen that one. Kind of looks
Yeah,
silly as hell.
yeah, it was. I don't know what was worse, some of the movies that he did later on, but that
Yeah,
and the Santa with Muscles or whatever. That was another fucking just dumb movie.
yeah,
Like wow, you go from making movies like No Holds Barred to Suburban Commando to fucking making uh like fucking shit like Mr. Nanny and fucking Three Ninjas High Noon or whatever the fuck it was called, High Noon Mega Mountain. I don't remember,
right.
but
Yeah, he had a lot of like kid type movies in the later years. I mean, he
yeah.
was in Gremlins 2, Suburban Commando,
You know, and, okay, that's another thing. Gremlins 2, it's funny because if it depends on how you watch it. If you find the original version of it, it's got Hulk Hogan in it. But
right.
I had a DVD that when you play it, it has a totally different fucking part. It doesn't have Hulk Hogan, and it has the Gremlins in like a shootout with John Wayne.
Right. Two different versions. I wonder why they did that.
I don't know. But the Hulk Hogan deal was, I remember he sitting in the movie theater. Okay, first of all, why would you go to a movie theater dressed in your Hulk Hogan attire?
Uh, that's Hogan for you.
You go into a movie theater, Hulk Hogan's just sitting there with his fucking bandana, his fucking Hulk Rule shirt. You can tell he's wearing his ring, tights and stuff, and then like, look here, guys, don't make me come up there. You think the Grimsters can stand up to the Hulkster?
Yeah.
That's funny shit, man.
Okay, let's see here. I guess we're gonna have I guess we got one more here, and then we'll wrap it up
Oh yeah.
because we're definitely over our hour mark. Let's see. Last question: did Joe own WWF Magazine March of 1990 and May of '93, June of '93 with Hulk Hogan on the covers?
I probably did. I owned so many WWF magazines back in the day. I can't really, tell you which ones I had and which ones I didn't because the many years they came out with them and
Right.
a lot of the majority of them I always did try to pick up all the WWF magazines.
Right on.
I probably did though. Back in those days, I definitely had all those magazines.
A lot of the. Too bad you didn't keep them.
Yeah, I've got a few. I've got a few old school wrestling magazines still.
Yeah.
I take care of. I put in little plastic bag deals.
Okay. Well, actually, there's another question here that I accidentally skipped over.
All right.
All right. So this will be the last question then. What did Joe think of the Brock Lesnar versus Hulk Hogan 2002 WWE SmackDown match? He gives it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I thought it was cool because
Is that the one where he was like Hogan was bleeding out of his mouth because he kept squeezing him?
And Brock basically they ended the match with a bear hug.
Yeah.
Like he bear hugged him to the point where the referee checked his arm like he was in like a sleeper hold or something, and brought his arm down 3 times, and then basically called the match off.
Right. So what'd you think of the match?
It's okay. I mean, my whole deal of Brock Lesnar is.
Well, I know you're not fans of. We're not fans of Brock Lesnar, but what did you think of Brock Lesnar in the early 2000s?
Okay, in the early 2000s, I thought he was badass.
Yeah, I thought he had a great muscle tone.
I mean, to me, and I know a lot of people can say what they want, but I thought they were trying to have Brock Lesnar become their version of Goldberg. Coming in and just hitting this big monster like Goldberg was hitting people with the jackhammer. You got Brock Lesnar, nailing people with his F5, showing that he can F5 like Mark Henry and Rikishi and Big Show.
Right.
I mean, yeah, when he in his earlier run thought he was cool, but then now Brock Lesnar, to be honest, I don't even care to even talk about him.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because here's the thing. Brock Lesnar killed my interest in wrestling.
Right.
When the WWE was doing what they were fucking doing with him, bringing him back time after time, giving him the WWE Championship, and fucking letting him just sit at home for fucking months on end, and only showing up on Raw to fucking jog in place while Paul Heyman cuts a promo, and you got that for like a fucking year, and then when you finally got the belt off him, thought he was gone, I show back up at Money in the Bank just to run out, fucking shove the guy off, grab the briefcase, yep, I get another run. When they had him beat, the last match I ever watched a full episode of wrestling. I keep up with wrestling. I watch a match or two every now and then.
Right.
But I don't watch the full shows anymore.
Oh, I hear you.
And but the last one I saw was when they had Brock Lesnar come out there and beat Kofi Kingston, who they've been building for fucking months as champion, to having him just squashed by Brock Lesnar in like not even 10 fucking seconds. Like, that was the day I said, I'm done watching wrestling. I am done. I am done with this fucking crap. Like, that's the day that's the day wrestling became a fucking crap to me.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, yeah, I will. That's why I'm glad. I love having YouTube now, because I go back and watch the real good old days of wrestling.
Right.
As I like to call them, the pre-Brock Lesnar days.
The pre-Brock. Also, Hogan was pretty good in Rocky 3. I would say that's well. He wasn't the star of the movie, but
no, but he was stunned to lips in the flesh, baby. I love that scene with him and Stallone when they're first starting the fight. Rocky's just believing it's just going to be a little show, and he's like, "How about this? We go round and round. I chase you, you chase me. There you go. Not too hard.
Yeah.
Okay."
Well, actually, I could play a little bit of that scene right now.
Oh my God!
The ultimate male versus the ultimate meatball.
He is a monster. How much would you take even to get in the ring with him?
Would you like to stuff in pork knots?
In the white corner, an incredible sight.
He was
nearly 7 feet.
Yeah, he's a big guy back in Rocky 3.
Weighing 390 pounds.
Oh, geez.
Undisputed wrestling champion of the world.
The biggest arm in the world.
A man who calls himself the ultimate object of desire, the mountain of molten lust, the one, the only Thunderlift.
You know, it's funny watching him in Rocky 3 is the only time you ever, like, before the day, you got to see him work as a heel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And there's some cool behind the scenes of Hogan and Stallone, with Rocky 3, them rehearsing this whole fight scene.
Yeah, I
Which is
remember
pretty
Stallone
cool.
was telling Hulk Hogan, like, I really want you to bring it.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
like, okay.
Yeah, in an interview, Hogan was saying that Stallone told him, go ahead, just treat me like you do any other wrestler. And Hogan's like, listen, I'll give you like 30% power. You don't want 100. And he said he actually ended up really hitting him at certain times.
Yeah, well, that one scene where he grabs him and totally whacks him in the back, the fucking reaction that Stallone gives when he's looking at him like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, that looks pretty real, too. So, yeah, it's laying it in.
Oh, no, we're not done with the meatball.
Yeah, like at the end, it's like, why'd you get so rough on me? That's the name of the game. You know?
Hey, while you calm down and all this, can you still get that picture?
You know what? Let me skip forward to that scene, because that's pretty funny. I want to play that before we...
I know, it's funny how Hulk Hogan's he's so wound up, like crazy, wanting to kill Stallone, and at the end, he just kind of like, hey, good luck.
Yeah. All right, listen to this.
And Thunderlift, the ultimate male. See you next year.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, pretty good.
Ooh.
Good match. And why'd you get so crazy on me out there? That's the name of the game. But listen, while you're still trying to get that ball right together? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. I like that. We get that Polaroid together? Yeah, sure. That's funny. And that's true, too, like you were saying. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way they got to play their character. Their character is based on being an asshole, and it's like, like he's going to keep that, gimmick.
Right. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Fantastic film. One day we're going to do a whole review on Rocky 3 and the other Rocky films, by the way.
Yeah. That was cool, though, because you made him seem like he was like a big asshole, and then after the match, he just comes up and is like, hey, good match.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, so now that you're calm, can I get you to take a photo? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, Hulk Hogan, man.
Yeah. The one and only. Man, rest in peace, brother. You're one of a kind.
Daniel Santana was talking about Suburban Commando.
Yeah.
I would have to rank that my second favorite Hulk Hogan movie.
That's a good film.
I love the part with The Undertaker when he's battling Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan's like, oh, what is this, a tag team? And he just goes to say something to him, and you can sit has a fucking little kid's voice. He's like,
yeah.
You're a good man, Ramsey.
Yeah. So no wonder why you guys don't fucking speak. Yeah. Good times.
That was a good movie, though. I mean, that was pretty. That was one of the coolest ones.
Yeah. One day we might have to do a review on that if I can ever find it on VHS.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it hit DVD.
There was a scene in the beginning that was kind of funny where he's walking down the main street in his fucking his space attire.
Yeah.
And he sees this dog in a hot car with a muzzle on his face, and the guy sitting down eating a meal is telling him shut up, Ralph. And Hulk Hogan goes up to the guy, and the guy's like, what? And the fade, you see the dog is now at the table eating the guy's food while he's tied up with a fucking muzzle on his face inside the hot truck. And the guy's just like, Ralph, hey, Ralph. Ralphie! Like, fuck you, dude. You didn't make that dog suffer. It's time for you to suffer.
Yeah, right. But yeah, he did some good films in the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah, and remember, he was also appeared on episodes of the A-Team.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was in a few episodes of the A-Team.
Yeah, teaming up with his running buddy, Mr. T.
He was on. Let's see. Yeah, he played in 2 episodes of the A-Team.
He also played in he was on Baywatch.
Yep. And he had that TV show in the early, was it Thunder in Paradise?
Oh yeah, that was a great show.
Back in the day.
That show started off as just a movie. Because I remember having a VHS copy of the movie Thunder in Paradise.
Yeah.
And it was like sometime later they just decided to turn it into a show. Like carry it on from there.
Yeah, which is cool. I do remember watching that from time to time back in the day.
Oh yeah, and they had a lot of wrestlers play a part in it. They had like Jim Neidhart play a part in it. Brutus Beefcake was in it. Jimmy Hart. They even had Sting like play a bad guy in one of the episodes, and him and Hulk had like a big ass like battle in like a swamp.
Oh, that's cool. It says here that Hogan was in an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't recall that. I guess it's...
I don't... You know what? I don't recall it because
back in 2001.
I didn't ever really watch a whole lot of Walker, Texas Ranger. I mean, it's a good show. It's just that, like, back in the day when they had that show on, I had other shows that I'd rather watch.
And of course, he was in Hogan's Knows Best, which I have that box set of. He's in Brooke Knows Best. I wonder if that ever got a DVD treatment.
Yeah,
I'll have to look into that.
There was an episode of Brooke Knows Best that there was a part I always thought that was so funny. Like Brooke was in a store, same with Hulk Hogan, and they're shopping, and like Hulk's in one part of the store, and one was in the other part of the store, and Brooke got on the thing like, "Can you page Hulk Teeny to the register?" And they're like, "Oh, Teeny." And Hulk Hogan's like sitting there like looking at like Hulk Teeny. Oh, like really?
That's fucking funny. That's a good way to fuck somebody. That's hilarious.
Paging you over the intercom as Hulk Teeny.
Jeez.
And I love how they filmed his reaction when he heard it. He just looked up like Hulk Teeny.
Yeah.
Man, get out of here with that.
And that reminds me also that part in Hogan Knows Best where he drops the elbow on Knobs.
Oh, yeah, on Knobs while he's sleeping.
Yeah.
He's like, Knobs. Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, he just drops the elbow on him. He looks to be in kind of bad shape too, Brian Knobs.
Yeah, showed him walking around with like crutches and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad, man, what these wrestlers go through.
Man, I tell you what, Hogan was best. I mean, he had a badass crib, man. Had a fucking mansion right there at the fucking beach. You could literally walk out your back door and be right at the fucking beach.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I tell you what, there was a sad scene in Brooke Knows Best where he's on a boat with Brooke and her friends that she was on the show with, and they kind of like drive by the beach house, and Brooke's like seeing the dogs at the out and about, running up to the side, like whining for them, and she's asking Hulk like, "Can't we just pull in for a second just to see the dogs?" And Hulk had to tell her like, "Look, Brooke, if I pull up to that dock, your mom's gonna have me arrested."
Yeah.
And it's like they couldn't stop, and you see how sad it made Brooke just to have to keep going, and while the dogs were, dogs don't understand shit, dude.
Right.
they see you and they're like, well, why are you going away from us? Why aren't you coming to love us? Don't you love us anymore?
Right. Yeah, that sucks.
You know, and yeah, that was probably to me was one of the saddest scenes of Brooke Knows Best. And
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan stated, he's like, showed him like tearing up, and Brooks said something, and he said something like, it's so hard to, you know, that I busted my body up for years to buy that. And, you know, the fact that thinking about, you know, your mom living there with an 18-year-old boy.
Yeah, that's messed up.
It just absolutely broke his heart, you know.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
rest in peace, Hulkster.
Rest in peace, one and only. I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. You know, that was a whole podcast dedicated to the one and only Hulk Hogan.
The immortal Hulk Hogan.
Yes. But yeah.
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 I know we can't play his actual theme because we'll get copyrighted.
Yeah, we'll probably get flagged for that. But yeah. One of a kind, man. The face of wrestling there.
Yeah. You know that people say about wrestling? See, I don't think I would ever became a big fan, like a super big fan of wrestling, had it not been for Hulk Hogan.
Right. And who knows, you know, like Triple H was saying, there might have not been wrestling if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan. But you can even go further back than that. There might have been no Hulk Hogan if it wasn't for Stallone putting Hulk Hogan in Rocky III.
You know, Hulk Hogan was a wrestler.
Yeah, in the 70s.
Before he was the immortal Hulk Hogan.
Right. He wasn't as big until after.
Yeah, it wasn't until he got that part in Rocky III.
And then the stardom really started to come in.
And Vince McMahon looked at that as like, oh man, I gotta make him my centerpiece. He's just, I mean, he's got the look. He's, you know, people are gonna, you know, think he's badass and
right. Well, not just that. He also brought in Mr. T for WrestleMania 1, and he's in Rocky III.
Both the guys that Stallone fought in Rocky III.
Yeah.
Being tag team partners
in WrestleMania 1.
WrestleMania.
And that's good times, man.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, yeah, we'll wrap it up. This was a podcast dedicated to the one and only Hulk Hogan, and we hope you guys enjoyed. Had a good variety of things going on, talked about them, answered questions, and played some, you know, videos of other people talking about Hulk Hogan and all that. A little bit of Rocky III there. You know,
a little bit of old school Hulk Hogan, his NWO days.
Yeah, all that good stuff. So anyways, that is it for now. We're out of here, and as always, guys, have a good one. Peace.